footsteps. That's how it started. Every night, just outside the front door. At first, the family who lived here brushed it off. A stray cat, maybe a neighbor, getting home late. But then they noticed the pattern. The sounds always came at exactly 3:17 a.m. Not a minute sooner, not a minute later. Driven by a mix of curiosity and unease, they installed a smart doorbell camera, hoping to finally see what was lurking in the dark. For weeks, the camera's glowing blue ring was the only sign of life on the empty porch. The digital clock would tick past 3:16 a.m., and they'd hold their breath, but nothing. The recordings showed only the wind rustling the trees and the quiet suburban night. They started to think they'd imagined it all. That is, until one rainy Tuesday. The notification chimed on their phone. Motion detected at your front door. They opened the live feed, their hearts pounding. There, illuminated by the porch light and the faint infrared glow, stood a figure. It was unnaturally tall, its form distorted by the rain sheeting down the lens. It stood perfectly still, just beyond the welcome mat. It didn't try the handle, it didn't knock, it just watched. The most terrifying part wasn't its presence, but its absence. Where a face should have been, there was only a smooth, dark void, a featureless abyss that seemed to absorb the light around it. Inside the house, the family stared at their screen, paralyzed. Seconds felt like hours as the silent sentinel remained unmoving, its gaze fixed on the door. Then, with a slow, deliberate creak that didn't sound human, it began to lean forward. Closer and closer it came, until its blank, empty face filled the entire camera frame, blocking out the world. The microphone, which had only picked up the sound of rain, suddenly registered something else. A faint, distorted whisper, like a radio tuned between stations, speaking words they couldn't understand but felt in their bones. A sharp burst of static crackled through the speaker. The image dissolved into digital noise, and then it was gone. They called the police. Officers arrived and searched the property, but found nothing. No footprints in the muddy flower beds, no smudges on the door, no sign that anyone or anything had ever been there. But the camera knew the truth, and it kept its vigil every night, like clockwork. 3:17 a.m., the notification would chime, and the faceless visitor would be there, waiting. The constant fear, the sleepless nights, it became too much. The family was breaking down, haunted by the digital ghost on their porch. They saw only one way out. They packed their lives into boxes and left. They never looked back. The new owners moved in a month later. Seeing the old, dated smart camera, they decided to replace it with a newer model. They uninstalled it, disconnecting its watchful eye from the porch. And just like that, the nightly visits stopped. The porch remained empty. The digital clock would pass 3:17 a.m. in undisturbed silence. But the question still hangs in the air, unanswered. What was it that came calling? And now that the camera is gone, where did it go?